will sign the state budget into law. I won't sweep this budget's flaws under the rug, however. The legislature is slashing more than 1,000 state government positions, making it harder for us to meet the people's health and safety needs. Many state employees' raises don't even keep up with inflation, and even the more meaningful raises that are in the budget still leave us lagging behind our neighbors in competitive salaries. The budget cruelly punishes low-income people who need access to justice. It eliminates the Office of Minority Health and Health Disparities, which ensures that all people can get the care they need to address their health conditions, as well as the Office of Historically Underutilized Businesses, which connects people to jobs and opportunities. It creates unfunded mandates for local governments. At the same time, the General Assembly is taking away mechanisms that are available to them to raise revenues. It makes real the General Assembly's wrong-headed threats of retribution against Charlotte. Charlotte needs to enhance road safety and minimize community impact, and that balancing process should be collaborative. It's full of unconstitutional and petty provisions that strip power from the executive branch, politicize state government, and undermine its efficiency. These provisions are certainly counterproductive, but as I previously noted, the legislature has accepted many of my big-ticket budget recommendations. And having just celebrated America 250 this weekend, we remember that our democracy has always run on compromise for the common good. And for these reasons, and because it delivers for North Carolinians in important ways, I support this budget. Let me tell you how it delivers. The budget delivers for Christian. Christian Martin is a Winston-Salem native who teaches 8th grade English and social studies in Craven County. He also serves on my teacher advisory committee, and he's here with us today. He's known that he wanted to become a teacher ever since he was in high school. And as his college friends were debating careers with better financial outcomes, he knew that to pursue his passion, he would have to make a financial sacrifice. Beginning teachers are choosing to forego other more lucrative careers, and if they stay in North Carolina, they're missing out on better salaries that they could earn in our neighboring states. But today, we are beginning to right that wrong. This budget I'm signing delivers the largest raise for starting teachers in nearly a half a century. It is also the largest overall teacher pay raise in about 15 years. And when it comes to student outcomes, this budget embraces ideas that work: advanced teaching roles, science of reading expansion, school safety grants, apprenticeships, all ideas that I had included in my budget recommendation because they will improve student achievement. Our kids are our future, and no investment is more important than the ones we make in them. This budget delivers for Derek. Captain Derek Simmons is a shift supervisor at Noose Correctional Institution who's worked in corrections for 28 years. He works to provide offenders a safe environment, a positive role model, and a new way of thinking. But where he used to have 28 correctional officers on duty at a time, he now only has 7 or 8. These vacancies compromise security and strain the officers who remain. Our state is facing similar vacancy challenges across state law enforcement agencies and public safety. In fact, the State Highway Patrol is currently making do with about 350 sworn vacancies across the department. Vacancies happen when we don't invest in people, when we don't pay our hardworking law enforcement officers in a way that honors the demands of their work. This budget works to make it right with a minimum of a 13% pay increase for state law enforcement officers and correctional officers, as well as a $1,750 bonus for local law enforcement officers. Since serving as your Attorney General, I have been hearing from police chiefs and sheriffs, many of whom are here today, about their challenge of recruitment and retention. Because as we all know, law enforcement is not an easy job. It's a tough job, but it is a critical one for our communities. When we cannot recruit and retain public-spirited officers, North Carolina families become at risk. So we have to do everything in our power to support those who keep North Carolina safe. This budget takes important steps forward on public safety. This budget delivers for Joanna. I met Joanna Parker, a woman from Garner, who was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease but could not afford private health insurance. The best way of managing her condition is through doctor visits, medication, and physical therapy, but she couldn't afford the out-of-pocket payments of those services. One urgent care visit could cost her upwards of $900. Her disease prevented her from going to work to earn enough to afford her health insurance. When she finally got Medicaid coverage, she was able to get the necessary treatments, x-rays, therapy, and medications that allowed her to go back to work full-time, which is what she always wanted to do. 3 million North Carolinians, more than a quarter of our state's population, get their health care through Medicaid. This number, these 3 million people, include children, pregnant and postpartum women, seniors, people with disabilities, and working families. Unlike last year's budget, this one fully funds the Medicaid rebase for the coming year. 3 million North Carolinians and their providers are getting the peace of mind and health care that they deserve. This is a big win for North Carolina. This budget delivers for TW. TW Randall and his family have lived in their home in Bakersville in Mitchell County for about 20 years. When Hurricane Helene struck, their house flooded, causing damage to the foundation and roof. The Randall family didn't have anywhere else to go, so they stayed in their home until they got sick from the mold. Then they faced both a North Carolina summer and a mountain winter in a camper without the shelter of their home. TW works as a manager for the long-term recovery group in Mitchell County. So while he was facing his own challenges, he was hard at work solving other people's. Western North Carolina is dotted with stories like the Randalls, people who are hard at work at their recovery, and it is our job as a state and federal government to match their grit and determination. Western North Carolina, we stand with you. We're sending you more than $700 million in this budget. This is the third Hurricane Helene recovery package that I have signed since I was governor. This money will fuel temporary housing program, the Temporary Housing Assistance Program. It will support local governments. It will help fight wildfires, and it will repair more private roads and bridges. It will also fund more volunteer-driven home repairs, like the one that helped the Randalls. It's also going to unlock matching funds from federal recovery programs. The state of North Carolina is committed to rebuilding Western North Carolina over the long haul, and I am grateful for the legislature's partnership in this work. There are other ways that this budget delivers. The General Assembly heeded my request to fund Sunbucks for next summer. This keeps kids fed through the hungriest part of the year when they are not at school. They agreed to restart the state's Healthy Opportunities pilot, which helps Medicaid beneficiaries maintain access to healthy food, transportation, stable housing, ultimately improving their health outcomes and saving taxpayer dollars. They also agreed to remove the data center sales tax exemption for electricity so that you and I will no longer be subsidizing their energy consumption. The budget funds the community colleges, Propel NC and Apprenticeship NC, to connect more people to good-paying jobs in high-demand careers that can support a family. It allocates $100 million to child care subsidies so that more parents can find child care that they can afford, especially in our rural communities. And it funds the places we all love, like Zoo Asia and our state parks. Allocates $50 million to preserving our state's farmland. It continues to strengthen the state's cybersecurity efforts and the DMV, which has already seen a reduction in wait times of about 85%. It provides funding for a new Fayetteville Veterans Home and makes significant investments in testing for and treating PFAS and other forever chemicals so that North Carolinians can trust the water they drink from their tap. When we work together across our differences, and when we put our people first, we can get good things done for the people of North Carolina. These investments we are making today will move our state forward. They will point the way forward as well, where we need to keep going because we are not there yet. The truth is, North Carolina, we've got a lot of catching up to do because there have been years of chronic underinvestment in state and public services. The largest starting teacher pay raise in history still does not invest enough in our veteran teachers. The biggest correctional officer raises in our state has seen in years does not move us out of the bottom 10 states in the country. The historic state trooper raises that we're excited about move starting pay from 49th to 41st in the country. If I told y'all we were 41st, you would not be proud, but it is a heck of a lot better than 49th. Nurses and other state employees are going to make less money in real dollars today than they did 2 years ago when we last passed a budget because of inflation. And too many essential behavioral health investments have been left on the table by the General Assembly. For those who lose their job through no fault of their own, there are no increases for unemployment benefits, an area where we are lagging far behind neighboring states. And the budget fails to sustain our NC Career Work Centers, our NC Works Career Centers for those who are seeking employment. Short-sighted. Furthermore, the legislature is continuing to pay wealthy people to send their children to unaccountable private school at the same time our public schools have been chronically underfunded. And while the budget pushes out further tax cuts beyond this year, which is a good thing, it nonetheless maintains future reckless pre-programmed tax cuts for corporate shareholders and the wealthy. Meanwhile, it failed to enact my working family's tax cuts that would have put more money into people's pockets, people who need it. We should be prioritizing the people of North Carolina, not big corporations. North Carolina's got a good thing going. We really do. And if we want to remain a top state where families want to raise their families, where people want to raise their families, where businesses want to invest, we have to continue to invest in the state, in our people. This commitment cannot be a one-time effort. It has to be something that we do over a period of years. But here's the good news. I know that we can do it. We just did, today, move this state forward in a meaningful way. We've shown that we can work together and deliver for the people of North Carolina. So let's celebrate this milestone, and then let's keep pushing. Come next spring, I will be ready and eager to work with the General Assembly on next year's budget so we can continue this progress we are making today. Let's keep building on our momentum so that in North Carolina, we create a state that is safer, stronger, and more prosperous with real opportunity for every single person. I want to thank you all for being here, and I'm now going to invite forward first Southeast Regional Teacher of the Year, Hannah Moon, and then we're going to hear from North Carolina Department of Public Safety Secretary Jeff Smythe and North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections Secretary Leslie Dismukes. Thank you. Ms. Moon.
Thank you. Thank you so much to Governor Stein. I'm so excited to be here with all of these amazing people who are supporting North Carolina. I remember my very first classroom. It was 2004, and I'd just been hired at Laney High School in Wilmington. When I walked into room 141 for that very first time, I was full of hope and optimism and naivete. It didn't matter my furniture was mismatched or my markers were dry. It didn't matter that I had hand-me-down motivational posters. I was just excited to be there. And today, decades later, I still love this profession. But here's what I've learned. Hope is what starts a teaching profession, support sustains it. That's why every investment in teachers is worth celebrating. So I'd like to begin today with gratitude. This budget recognizes that teachers deserve an investment and progress needs to be honored. As Governor Stein mentioned, this budget has so many positive features for public schools, an average of 8% in teacher pay raises, bonuses for educators, and investments in very important supplements. Thank you, Governor Stein, for your leadership in advocating for teachers. This increase in teacher pay matters. It matters for respect, respecting the long hours that teachers put in far beyond the school day. It matters for the respect of the emotional weight that teachers carry as we support students through their challenges. This pay raise also matters for retention, because even the most dedicated educators, like myself, reach a point where passion alone is not enough. Every day, we're giving everything we've got, but quietly wondering how long we can afford to keep doing it. While this budget is a step in the right direction for public schools, there's still a lot of work to be done. While the $1,000 bonus looks really good on paper, North Carolina teachers spend about $1,400 of their own money on school supplies every year. We spend money out of our already slim paychecks on not just daily necessities like pencils and pens and paper. We're buying winter jackets, personal hygiene products, snacks, carpets, prescription glasses, fidget toys, and so many motivational items like a Harry Potter notebook and pen set for the quiet kid in the back of a Mitchell County classroom who just needed the right push to start his writing career. During my decades-long teaching career, I've learned an important reality. Two things can be true at the same time. I'm so grateful for this raise. It means more money for gas and groceries and getaways for many teachers like myself and my teacher husband. It allows us to put money back in our classrooms, and it shows that politicians understand that every investment for educators is an investment for students and the future of our great state. At the same time, this work is not finished. Educators know that progress doesn't always come in giant leaps. Sometimes it's one quiet lesson at a time, one small breakthrough, one reluctant student at a time. And sometimes it comes one budget at a time. So now's the time to keep working to give teachers and students something they can be proud of. A public education system that reveres its educators and invests in every student. This budget is the first step. So North Carolina, let's keep walking forward. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Very well done. Governor, everyone, good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm grateful that we are here to sign a budget that supports law enforcement and keeps people safe. For too long, we've asked law enforcement officers to do more with less. This is not an easy job. It takes a special kind of person to choose a job where your safety could be threatened at any moment. Law enforcement officers do it because they love their work and they believe in the value of keeping people safe. So we must make sure that this job values them back. Today's budget provides state law enforcement officers with a 16.2% average pay raise and the State Highway Patrol with an average of 15%. It also provides a $1,750 bonus for all local law enforcement officers. These are real investments that make a real difference when it comes to recruitment and retention. Governor Stein has been calling for these investments since his time as Attorney General. Of course, we know pay is only one part of the equation. And that's why we must continue investing in officers' mental health and supporting behavioral health investments that enable law enforcement officers to focus on keeping people safe. And to do that, we should be incentivizing formal education and additional training. I saw the challenges of recruitment and retention firsthand during my years in Burlington. Recruiting good officers is hard enough. Keeping experienced officers can be harder, especially when agencies across the region are competing for the same people. When you lose an experienced officer, you lose more than a position on a roster. You lose years of training, experience, and knowledge of the community where they police. That's why pay matters. It helps us recruit good people, and it gives experienced officers reason to stay, continue serving and building their careers here in North Carolina. These investments are an important step. We must double down on our law enforcement investment. Even with these raises, the pay North Carolina offers still lags behind many agencies and states in the Southeast, which makes it harder for us to recruit and retain the very best officers. But we're headed in the right direction, and I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you to the General Assembly for investing in law enforcement, and thank you, Governor Stein, for your years of advocacy for these pay raises. It's now my pleasure to introduce DAC Secretary Leslie Dismukes.
Thank you, Secretary Smythe. Thank you, Governor, for having me here today. We are grateful to finally have a budget in place and thankful for the salary increases it provides, which should make a significant impact on our ability to recruit and retain our correctional staff. These pay raises, which are the largest legislative raises in decades, will help us be more competitive and ensure salaries better reflect the hard work of our employees. This budget invests in NCDAC's operational security by providing funding for vehicles, cameras, body scanners, ballistic vests, and body armor for our correctional staff. It provides for technology to decrease staff workload and increase staff efficiency. It includes funds for replacement of aging medical equipment and outdated fire suppression systems. And it provides continued funding for our local reentry councils. We are grateful for these investments in our agency. For too long, we have been running this agency without the money to pay our staff, fix our prisons, or rehabilitate our inmates. This budget is a start, but we have a long way to go. Over the course of this budget cycle, our agency has lost more correctional officers than we have hired, while the prison population has grown by more than 1,000 people, decreasing our ability to run safe prisons. While the increases for correctional officers on the STEP plan are significant, they still leave North Carolina ranked among the 10 lowest paying states in the country. We are better than that. Our job at NCDAC is to ensure that we can safely take in, supervise, and rehabilitate people who have been convicted of serious crimes. If we cannot adequately staff our prisons for safety and security, we cannot run the programs that will ensure that those in our custody are released in good health and with educational and vocational training that will allow them to safely reintegrate into society. 94% of the people in our custody will go home one day. They will be your neighbor. Their kids will go to school with yours. You will see them at the grocery store. NCDAC is charged with making sure that the people we are returning to our communities live productive lives and no longer pose a threat to public safety. Our task is significant. The more than 14,000 employees who go above and beyond every single day to keep our communities safe often go unrecognized. We will not be able to succeed in this mission if we continue to be chronically underfunded. Today, we are grateful. We are taking a strong step in the path towards full funding. Thank you, Governor, for always championing our public safety efforts and recognizing our important charge. I would also like to thank the members of the General Assembly, and in particular, the Justice and Public Safety chairs of both the House and Senate, who have been our partners in securing these important increases. I look forward to the long session so that we can right-size our base budget and adequately compensate all of our staff for the difficult jobs that they do every day to keep North Carolina safe. Thank you.
Welcome, join us. We're about to sign a bill.
Okay, okay.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Senate Bill 257, our state budget